30 rounds of Gucci ammo. Everyone's doing Tarkov builds, so I tried to do one myself. Pretty popular game, man. What I do love about that game is just the sheer amount of like actual usable aftermarket options. It's just fun building AKs on it, which is super dope. And it's exposed Zenitco to the world. A lot of people didn't know about Zenitco, thanks to like Jim Fuller, Grand Thumb, games like Escape from Tarkov. Zenitco is super hot right now and super unobtainium right now. Anyway, what do we have here? This is a old Arsenal SLR 107 FR. F for the folder, R for the rail. These are absolutely impossible to get anymore at a decent price, but at one time these guns were 1,100 bucks several years ago when I first started really getting into quality AKs. And this is honestly one of the oldest AKs that I personally owned when I started getting into them. So this thing has a ton of rounds on it. It's rocking a super old paint job by 11 Mile, kind of a battlefield pickup, which is very Tarkov. Right now we're rocking just a standard 74 style muzzle device because I actually don't have my JMAC muzzle device, so I'm working on getting that back, but I think it looks really cool with a factory break on this thing. And moving on down, this light mount, I've actually got a full video on this where we shoot a night match. This is a CDM Gear light mount, and what's cool about it is it has a hole that goes through the bottom where you can actually bolt this to your AK, retain your cleaning rod, and you don't need any extra pick mount or anything. This will clamp to just about any AK barrel, and they even make some for Yugos. That's pretty cool. Just rocking a Surefire, I think it's called a G2. Super cheap, puts out pretty good light, and it's in a really good place to bump the light. We've actually ran this in night matches, like I say, with a can, and it worked perfectly fine. Super happy with it, and I like that this isn't that permanent. This is where it starts to get good. This is that special green Zenitco. This is the B10 lower. Has no Picatinny on the left or the right. Gives you a little bit on the bottom where you can add grips, things like that. But I mainly bought one of these because I really wanted to get into the upper rails. It's my first B33 railed dust cover that I've ever tried from Zenitco. I've had several of the handguards before, but never one of these. I didn't really want to believe in them. I just had bad experience with the old Texas Weapon System railed gas. Sorry, the old Texas Weapon Systems and their dust covers. I had one that just didn't hold zero very much, so I saw this and was like, meh, been there, done that. This is totally different in how it mounts. Rock solid mount up to the lower. Great big bolt here on a steel little puck that actually hinges into where your original dust cover would have hinged into. A lot of support there. And they actually replace your recoil rod with something a bit beefier, a bit chunkier in the rear that holds your dust cover down a bit better. Let's see if I can show you that. And it ain't that easy to push in. What's so cool about this is it's hinged, so I'm never gonna lose my my dust cover, and because it mounts so tight, I'm not gonna lose my zero either. So that's super sick. Something brand new that I'm trying here. I do love putting Trijicon MROs on AKs, but I didn't have any low mounts. I had a bunch of RS Regulate mounts, which defeats the purpose of this guy, and I had some really high Trijicon mounts. I like factory AK stocks, and with a factory AK stock, and if you want to keep a cheek weld without having that, you know, AK chin weld, you have to have low mounts for your optics. So I bought one of these Trijicon low mounts. That coupled with the MRO is honestly still kind of high, but is way better. And you gotta admit, dude, MROs look pretty dope on AKs. pretty sick. Awesome, super clean, wide open sight picture. No co-witness. I know you're gonna ask, I can't see my irons, but it's really not a big deal. Running the Krebs Custom Safety. Unbelievable, cheap, easy to install upgrade. Super awesome. I honestly would buy the ones without the bolt hold open. Never use it, and it's just a big hole in the side of your gun. So I would get the one that looks a bit more factory. They do sell them. All right, my sriracha sauce. ALG AKT trigger. Beautiful trigger. These things pull at around 2 pounds. Awesome, awesome trigger. Hammer face is polished. I could probably show you that. I'll wipe the gunk away. Nice and shiny, man. That one's actually not very contoured. It's just got a light polish. Not everyone needs to be polished. A lot of people see that old video where we polish one and they think every ALG needs it. Some don't. This gun, it never really got held up on the hammer face and it didn't feel too rough, so didn't polish it that much. We are running a very cool Russian red wood laminate pistol grip wrapped in goon tape. Kind of matches our laminate upper handguard here. A little bit of wood goes a long way on an AK. They just look dope. Running our factory triangle folder. Sometimes these buttons can be a little bit of a booger. Factory triangle folder. You'll notice we have some goon tape here holding in our cleaning kit. So keeps your cheek off the cold metal. Not that that's really a huge deal, but I do have a cleaning kit, which, believe it or not, they come in handy a lot with these things. So, super cool, man. I'm super freaking happy with it. Oh, I didn't mention before, we have a BCM vertical foregrip, also wrapped in goon tape. These are actually like LaRue Picatinny grip panels, just to kind of keep your hand off those serrated bits. There's a ton of different companies making stuff like that.
Hey guys, the biggest supporter of this channel is, as always, thirdpinthreads.com. If you want to support the channel, get you something. Go by the website, get a hat, get a t-shirt. We don't do Patreon. We don't do paid ads for razors for your ball sacks. Get some cool swag instead. All right, back to the show.
That is it. And man, that's a pretty nasty looking AK. Pretty sick. The gear I'm running today is nothing more than a Chinese Type 56 chest rig. These are 20, 30 bucks on Amazon all day long. At least they were before everything in the world got expensive. They might be like 50 bucks now. You'll notice my mags are poking out a little bit further. I've got them shimmed with foam inside the pocket. So my mags are a little bit easier to grab. The flaps that actually hang over and toggle in place, I tuck them in. So if I'm actually running, all I have to do is grab. I don't have to flip it over and dig my mag out. Probably not ideal if you guys are going to like some of those military simulators or like tactical games. I imagine if you're doing backflips, your mags could work their way out, but for what I do, shooting matches mainly and just LARPing around the range, they work perfectly fine. And it looks neat. Anyway, that's my Tarkov build. This gun is ever changing, and we have actually another gun that's being built right now that this Zenico furniture is going to be dedicated for, and I can't wait to show you that when it gets done. It's over at our homies at M13 right now, getting a couple of mods done. Then it's gonna go to 11 Mile for a paint job, and then back here for me to film for you. And that's what we bought this stuff for. But right now, it looks pretty dope on this 107.